Hello, and welcome back to the Sim Serotonin podcast, where we inspire you to action 3Gs to grow, glow, and go after your dreams, your passions, your goals. And to do that today, we have the wonderful Nabila, or my dear friend who I like to call Nabs. Can I refer to you as Nabs in the episode?
Of course, yes,
Wonderful.
of course.
Nabs, thank you for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. Can you please tell us who you are and how you're truly feeling right now?
Awesome, yes. Well, I'm Nabila. Currently final year business student at the University of Bath. Well, almost soon to be graduate now. And yeah, I'm just a 21-year-old trying to figure out life. And I'm really passionate about running, which is what we're here to talk about today.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, you asked how I was as well. Yeah, how I'm doing truly very good. Very happy that it's warm today, which has lifted my spirits after a terrible week of rain. But yeah, just happy to be here in the lovely Virgil building.
Yes, we
love it here.
We finished our deadlines, but we've somehow been called back to
Yes,
Virgil, which
yes.
for those who don't go to Bath, it's like a library in town.
It's an iconic library in town, I may add. Like, we were here, like, for deadline season, I was here probably like 10 hours a day. So,
oh my god.
yeah. Iconic building, to say the least.
Indeed.
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks for the intro, Nabs. And as you mentioned, running is something
Yes.
you're very passionate about, and
Mhm.
was the reason I told her, like, Nabs, I would love for you to come on the podcast as a guest to talk about running and your journey with it.
Mhm.
So speaking of that, can you tell us a bit more about how you started getting into running? What is running to you? Anything you want to share around that?
Of course. I think running has always been part of my life. I think, like, growing up, besides doing team sports, running was also another way that I stayed fit. And also, both of my parents loved running. I think
Oh, both of them?
both of them,
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
They used, well, mainly my dad, but my mom would get dragged along with him, of course. But they used to do, like, lots of races together. But mainly my dad, because he does, like, triathlons and he trains for triathlons, so he was always an active dad growing up, and so I always saw him. Literally, I would be up for school at like 7 a.m. and he would just be coming back from like a 50K bike ride casually before work, by the way, and that's just his routine. And so yeah, I think growing up with very active role models was naturally how I got into running. But I would say in third year of uni was when I really did it regularly. My best friend Farah and I, we used to go on runs together when we lived together, and then we did our first ever run club that year. It was like a Halloween 5K in the beautiful city of Bath, and so I really loved seeing the community aspect of running as well, and so I really fell in love with it that semester. And then I remember coming home for the winter break. I got proper running shoes for the first time, and I was like, okay, I want to do this seriously. I want to do this as part of my routine now. And then moving into London, I hated the gym. I needed to find a way to stay fit, or else I'm just gonna sit on the couch all day. And so running was just easy. It was free. You just kind of went out to run. And I think I went through like kind of a weird time mentally when I first moved into London, and also was going through a heartbreak. And so like running was a really great way for me. It was a good outlet for my mental health as well. And I found that I felt so good every time I went for a run. And I used to hear people talk about this runner's high, and I'm like, no, this is propaganda, guys. This is not real. This is not real. Like, no way you feel good after like putting yourself through pain. But it's so true. Like, when you're so down and you go out for a run, your spirits are just lifted, and it's like something I actually can't explain. And I've turned into one of those people who are spreading this propaganda, but it's real, guys. Like, I have never felt so clear-headed after a run when you're like down mentally. That's what I used to do. And I remember when I was living in London, like, my flatmate was like, can you stop running? Because I would go running like every single morning just to clear my head because of how badly my mental health was at that time. But running really helped me pull me out like of a bad spot, and I guess that's when I truly started running regularly, and it was like more of my routine. And yeah, it's been part of my routine ever since then. So yeah, that's what I would say.
So you talked about your dad and how both of your parents were like such an influence, and triathlon and 50k cycle rides, that's so
Yeah.
impressive. I can't
Mhm.
believe it. And like
Mhm.
before work.
Before work, every day, mind you, rain or shine, he used to just go out there before
Wow.
work. Yeah,
That's
at
so
like
impressive.
crazy hours as well, because he would go out. He would leave for work at like 8:30, and so he would come back at 7. So like he was up at like 4 or 5 just to cycle.
Yeah.
So.
And do you feel like at the time when you saw that growing up, it didn't, like, you talked about the propaganda of runner's high, and now you didn't like really believe it until you experienced it.
Yeah.
Do you think maybe you weren't as inclined to try it when you were younger because you didn't have as many people around you, or you know how you talked about you and Farah going to try a run club? Maybe is it the lack of that when you were younger that didn't make you try it? What do you think led to that shift of, okay, I'm gonna try this run club, let's just do it and see what happens?
For sure. Really good question, first of all. I think, I started running more regularly because, again, it was just like easy and you just kind of went out for it. But you're right about like the community aspect. It was nice to see not only my dad, but like when running became more of like a trend, I would say, and you'd see it more on like social media and stuff. It felt fun to be a part of something and to have sort of shared interests with everyone else. And I didn't like before like third year, like running was never like a big thing like community wise, and so it definitely helped that like a lot of people around me were running, and that like to have Farah there motivating me to go out for a run, because it's not easy to go on like a long run. Like, and your first couple runs will feel like death. Like it's not fun to run like at first, and it definitely to have someone there accountable to run with you, to have fun with you was really important, I think, and why it became more a part of my routine. I think you're right.
Yeah. And so then obviously you took running a bit more seriously, like starting to sign up for things like the London Marathon, which Nabila actually did and is a huge part of what I wanted her to share today. But obviously before getting to that stage, did you have any experiences with races or doing anything as a lead up to that? I know you did the Bath half, but even before the half, was there anything kind of in the interim? Yeah,
so I remember doing my first ever like race. It was like, I think in year 6 there was like a fun run at my school, and that was really the only race I've ever done prior to the Bath half. But yeah, crazy. But
why is it called fun run? Is it like
it was fun? It was
a run
just
that's
like
fun?
Yeah, I guess a run that's fun, and like the distance was only like 5K, so it was like it was like everyone was welcomed. There was nothing about speed, nothing about.
The 5K is actually a lot for like school.
Was it? They had like, I think the more serious people did like 10Ks, but like 5K was open to the public type thing. But yeah, that was probably my first ever race, and then Farah and I decided to sign up for the Bath half as like a final year thing. Like we wanted to have a goal to work towards, but also to have something to commemorate final year as well. And like we've seen the race before. Like it happens in our town every year. So like we've seen people doing it, and like we were inspired by it. So we're like, okay, we're gonna sign up for it and we're gonna train for it together. And I think that was why we initially joined, was just to have a goal to work towards, because at that time running was just like kind of a hobby. Again, it was just something that I did to clear my head. Maybe I did it regularly, but never had like a goal to work towards. And I think it was nice to have like an end goal to my hobby, because then it was more than just a hobby at that point. I think I liked the fact that we had something to work towards, and that I was doing it with my best friend, and we started going on runs together, and like our hangouts turned into just runs together, which I found really funny. But it was just so nice, like meeting up at a park, running, and then grabbing brunch together. Like that was what we did in London, like weekly, which I loved so much. And then the London Marathon was happening around this time in London, and mind you, I had no idea what this whole race was. I didn't know it was a world major, that there's only 7 in the world that are world major marathons, and I didn't know that.
Are there 7?
Yes, I think it might be 8 now. They just added one more in Cape Town, I'm pretty sure. but these groups of marathons are called world major marathons.
Okay.
And people fight to get into these things, and I firstly had no idea. All I knew was that it happens every year in London, and that the first time I watched it was when I was living in London, and I was like, oh my god, this is so inspiring, seeing people running the streets of London. And then I found out that it was a ballot system, and I was like, okay, maybe this is like something serious. And then I researched more about it, and it was like thousands of people put their names in this ballot, and I'm like, okay, surely, like, if I put my name down, like, what are the chances? Like, what are the chances? I like running. If I get it, then I get it. If not, then it's fine. There's no harm. So I put it in literally for the lulz, like, may I add. So I just put my name down, didn't think much of it. And then a random day in July, a random Thursday, I remember this day very vividly because we had like a summer office party this day.
Oh.
And then I got a random email saying that I'm gonna run a marathon in like a year's time, and I'm just like, what is going on?
Oh my god.
And I didn't even think about it. I said yes, because you can actually decline the offer as well.
Oh,
Yeah.
you have to respond.
You have to respond to it, or else they give your spot to someone else, because obviously it's like limited spots. And I was just like, you know what? It felt really meant to be. I think after researching how rare the opportunity to run this, I wanted even more, and so it wasn't even a thought in my head. I remember texting my dad. I sent a screenshot. I sent the email to him as a screenshot, and I just went lol, and then he was like, he was going crazy, and I'm just like, oh, okay, and then I just signed up to it, and so yeah, that's the story of how I got.
Were you in the party when you got the email?
No, it was like right beforehand.
Okay.
And right beforehand, I was like registering, and I remember at that party, I was telling everyone and their moms that I was gonna run a marathon.
Oh my god.
Which, yeah, that day specifically, I was really excited for it. But as the days went on, it really sunk in that I'm like, oh, this is something big that I have to train for. And yeah, only reality sunk in like 5 days after that. But I think it felt very meant to be, and it felt like sort of a calling. Like I felt really special to have that opportunity, and I was like, okay, you know what? I was given this opportunity, and I'm gonna do it right, and that's why I signed up to it.
Oh my gosh,
So yeah,
that's such a nice story.
it is
And
very
how did
sweet.
your dad feel?
Oh, he was buzzing. He was so excited for me, because I think only him and in my family truly knew the weight of it all. Like, to everyone else in my family and all my friends, they were like, okay, cool, you're running a marathon. But like, to understand how I got a place in this world major is actually quite insane. Like, thousands and thousands of people sign up to this one event, and for some reason I got a chance to do that, and so it just felt silly to pass up. So that's why I mainly said yes.
Yeah.
So.
And I have a question actually about you going on runs with Farah. What's your take on running and talking?
Oh,
because you said your hangouts became runs.
Yeah, good question. It depends on the run. If I'm like within my trading block, I had to do different kinds of runs. So there's like easy runs, there's long runs, and then there's like intervals and like sprints and stuff. I would not be able to speak during sprinting, but your easy runs should be at a pace where you're able to have a conversation. So I think having a friend there with you actually helps with easy runs, because for me especially, I go out very hot. Like, I struggle with making sure my heart rate is at the level that it should be for an easy run. And so it's good to actually have a friend there with you, because then having a conversation with her will like limit your heart rate, because you can only go so far with being able to talk. So it actually helps during easy runs, but I wouldn't do it for like an interval or like a sprint session.
And speaking of heart rate, do you measure it with?
Of course, yes. I actually only got a Garmin like after the half, because
What is it? It's called
this
a
is
Garmin?
a Garmin, but I used to have an Apple Watch, which used to die every single day, and I thought that was normal for a smartwatch. And then people with a Garmin would be like, oh, I charge my watch like once a month, and I'm just like, what do you mean?
Once a month?
Once a month? I don't charge this thing for like weeks on end, and it's still alive.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
So what does it do? Enlighten us.
Of course, it tracks your runs. It tracks your heart rate. It tracks your sleep as well, actually, which is really important. And it like calculates how much recovery time you need, which I used to never listen to actually. But it's very, very useful for that. So then you're not overtraining.
Okay.
And
And do you
stuff like
prefer it over, because there's things like Fitbit, Whoop.
Yeah, well, I've only tried the Apple Watch besides this one, and obviously I like this way better in terms of battery life. Like, I used to like, if I forget to charge my Apple Watch, my day was ruined because I can't track my runs, and it's very important to track your runs. Like, if it's not on Strava, it never happened.
Oh my god! Speaking of Strava, tell us about your relationship with Strava.
It's a love-hate relationship, but it's mostly love. We love her. She was my favorite app for a while.
Was?
Yeah.
She no longer the favorite. Who's overcome or beat her? Interesting. I feel like Strava's more of a guy than a girl. You used to call her.
She's a her. She's fit. Like, she's the girl.
She's that girl.
Yeah. Yeah, I love Strava. It was nice to always have your runs like logged on, but I just sometimes it was like a place of comparison, I think, which was what I felt was toxic. It reminds me a lot of LinkedIn, actually.
The
LinkedIn warrior would know. Yes, you know what? I will actually make that comparison because it's nice to see other people running, but it's not nice to see when they're running faster than you and further than you. You know what I mean? Like, it's good competition. It's good to see each other, but that's the only part I would say that gets a bit toxic. And yeah, that's why it's a love and hate relationship with Strava. Yeah.
And you know how you talked about like running helping your mental health? Do you feel like checking Strava or sometimes seeing what other people post kind of messed with that improvement that you were meant to get from running?
Definitely, because you end up wanting to run either faster or longer because you're again comparing to other people, and it's like I'd see my friends from back home like they'd tag the run as easy 5K and they're running at like a 4-minute kilometer, and I'm just like, huh, you're not real. And so I guess that part really like changes my perception of running, because I told myself when signing up to these races, like, I never want running to be a chore. Like, I always want to come out of these races still loving running, and I don't want to ever just stop running after these races, because that's not what it's about, I think. And so I think a little bit of what Strava was took the love away from running, just a little bit, but then like it brings you back down and be like, it's actually not that deep, it's not that serious. No one is comparing, no one is thinking that hard, like no one is looking at your runs and thinking you're like the slowest person ever. Like, it actually doesn't matter, like as long as you're having fun, that's all that matters. So yeah,
I remember when I was preparing for my first like 5K race, I was telling my sister like, oh, I wanna do it in this time, or why am I not running fast enough? And she was like, Seema, just focus on having fun. And when you focus on having fun, like, number one, you kind of forget about the results, and number two, they inevitably get a bit better because you're focusing on the journey over the destination.
Agreed.
You know,
like as cheesy as that sounds, that's so true about running. Like, we all in these half marathons and these marathons, we all end up with the same medal. Like, we all finish the race together, and it doesn't matter how you finished, how long it took you to get there. We all get the same medal, and so it's not about running fast, it's about getting to the destination, as cheesy as that sounds. But yeah, I think it's true.
And would you say that maybe another way of, like, maybe for anyone who's thinking of getting Strava, getting into running and wants a bit of a community, would you say that run clubs are a good alternative or addition to something like Strava for that community feel, finding like-minded people? What's your experience with run clubs been?
Yeah, good question. I love run clubs, actually. I love the whole idea of going on a run together and then grabbing coffee and just like chatting with like-minded people. These people who are on run clubs are like, they're either training for a marathon or just someone who likes to run, and so you meet a lot of different people. And I actually love the run club here in Bath. I don't know if you...
Is it Bath Fit Fam?
Yeah, Bath Fit Fam. Love them. You meet literally all kinds of people, and it's just so much fun, because running alone can be really lonely, especially when you're training for a marathon. You feel like I mean, it is like an individual race, of course, and you feel like you're alone a lot of the times, and so running with other people really, really helps. and like and in moments where like your friends might not be available to run, or they're injured or whatever, it's good to have the run club to always fall back on, and always have that community. I think is really important, and it really is motivating. It reminds me a lot of like a group fitness class will always be more fun than you going into the gym alone. Like, yeah, you're doing the same sports, you're lifting the same weights, but it's the fact that you have the community around you really helps. Not only like keeps you accountable, but also just brings more fun into it, I think. And I love that these run clubs are actually making people love running, and like bringing a lot of awareness to the sport as well. So yeah, love. Big up the run clubs, you guys. I love the run clubs.
Speaking of love, I hear that run clubs are sometimes a place to find love. Have you witnessed any of this in the different ones you've tried? Or?
I haven't witnessed any, and I personally have not experienced any. So if you know any of clubs like that, like, let me know. I'll join. But like, yeah, I've seen that a lot actually.
Because I remember when I would tell my colleagues at work in London that I was going to run clubs, I remember some of them being like, so like what's your intention here? And like I was like, oh, like this is like, if I tell someone I'm going to run a club, is this what they think? Like I'm going to find my man's like.
I'm like overthinking things.
No, like I guess there's different types as well, right?
I think so.
People go for fun. People maybe go to find someone, but
I would say the one in Bath is very like the age range is very wide. Like it's not catered to one age range.
Oh,
so
really?
you'd see families and their children actually on the Sunday run clubs.
Oh my gosh, that's so cute.
And so I guess depends on the type of run club for sure.
I'm yet to try Bath. I don't know how I haven't tried it, because I was trying so many in London. I need to try the Bath one.
They're really fun. And then I used to have, Connor?
Yes.
I used to have my favorite spin instructor at Fitness First. He used to run his own run clubs.
Really?
Yeah, like the first one I ever went to with Farah, the Halloween one I was just talking about, was ran by him, because he's like the ambassador of Lululemon as well.
Okay.
So he runs a lot of those kinds of events. And so, I don't know what I was going to say bringing that up, but like, yeah.
Like you've tried different ones.
Yeah, I've tried different ones. And so, yeah, and it's fun when it's themed as well. Like that was like a Halloween trick-or-treat one, so we ran to different like checkpoints to get candy, which was so much fun. It was so much fun. And then, they always have like a social aspect afterwards, either like grab a coffee, stuff like that. And a lot of them actually offer discounts on like coffees and stuff. So if you ever want like free deals and coffee, make sure to get yourself into run club.
So the running clubs have helped to bring that community, make the loneliness journey less lonely.
Yes.
And speaking of like the struggles that come with running, can you tell us more about your experience with maybe the challenges that you faced, especially like you say, it's the training block, and the whole process preparing for something as big as a marathon is huge. Like how did you approach overcoming the battles internally, the emotions?
I think there's a lot of aspects to that, but I think I experienced a lot of like imposter syndrome. Like I felt sort of like unworthy sometimes of like this marathon place. I'm like, if I'm not running as fast as I think that I should, or as far as I think that I should, or if I'm finding a run that's supposedly supposed to be easy but I'm finding it really tough on myself, you kind of like second guess yourself, I guess, and you look at the distance and you're like, oh, I have to run 42 kilometers, like that is insane. Or like if you're huffing and puffing on a 10K, you're like, how am I supposed to do 4 times of this? Like this sounds crazy. And so a lot of imposter syndrome, I think, I experience, but then I just kind of reel it back and have to think about that it's like not that deep, and like it's actually not that serious, and it doesn't have to be that serious, and it's okay to have fun, I think, during it as well. And so that's how I sort of navigated that battle as well, just not taking it that seriously. And then I also went through an injury as well. I think I've mentioned to you as well. When training for the half, because I was like, I was training for both at the same time, and the Bath half was like my B race is what they call it, but it was my race inside of my training block for the marathon.
Okay.
So
B race.
Yeah, so like the 21 kilometers was just like another training run that I had to do anyways. But 2 weeks before that, I hurt my knee really badly, and every run I went on after that was like a knife on my knee. It was like really bad, and it stressed me. It was like a lot of stress because so that was like 2 weeks out of the half, and like I think 6 weeks out of the full, and I was just like, this is not the shape that I want to be to train for the marathon, because again, it's not a distance you play with. Like 42 kilometers is something you have to train for. It's not something that you can just wake up and do. And so I not only wanted to finish it, but I also wanted to be physically well for it as well. And so when I hurt my knee, it was like low-key devastating. I was like crying, and I was really sad, and I saw a physio as well, and she was like, the only thing you can do is just stop running for at least 2 weeks. And I'm like, what do you mean stop running? I can't stop running. I have a half marathon to run. And she's like, if you want to run the half marathon, you have to stop running. And I was like, okay. So I had to take a break from running, or just dial instead of doing like my long runs, I just switched them in for like shorter runs. And she also suggested more strength training as well, which was another thing I had no idea about. Like, you have to make sure your muscles are strong to be able to run fast. Not only to run fast and far, but also to avoid injuries as well, which I had no idea about. And that's when I also incorporated more gym sessions as well.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, so that injury was
even
really
during
tough.
your injury.
Yeah. So doing like, because I think the pain I experienced was only when I was running. I had ITB, which is what it was called. But
what does that stand for? Do you remember?
I have no idea. It was like the section of the knee that was called. But yeah, they suggested to do strength training so that your muscles are strong and to prevent you from harming your knee further. But that was really tough to be like to have to just sit down and like just chill out for a sec to let my knee heal, and it felt like a step back. But then I ran the half and I was completely fine, and you realize that it's okay to take a break, and your fitness doesn't like completely disappear. Like maybe it disappears a bit, but then it doesn't go completely. So it's okay to take a break at that point, which is what I learned. And then having to train again, like increase my mileage very slowly after that was also difficult, because I was supposed to go on these like 30 kilometers long runs, but obviously I can't because of the past injury, and the last thing you want to be doing is injuring yourself a bit more. And my priority was always to finish the marathon, and so it's okay for me to go a bit slower, take the half easier, so then I'll be okay for the marathon. So having to switch that mindset was another challenge, I think, and being okay with just finishing was also another battle I had to go through, because I was so dead set on finishing in a certain time. I was like, I'm gonna do this sub 4, I'm gonna do this within 4 hours, but I'm like, it's okay. Like it was okay at the end of the day, as long as you finish.
And can you tell the audience a little bit about how your wholesome ending, and like how you crossed the finish line with Farah?
Oh my god, yes. So like the half was very difficult still, because my knee was still quite injured. And I told Farah, I was like, Farah, just go without me. Like I could see that she was physically fitter, and I was like, you can just go without me. You can go further, finish the race first. And she's like, no, we started this together, and she wanted to end it with me. She's like, I don't feel the need to run faster right now. I want to finish this with you. And I was just like,
that was just so cute. I would like want to replay that moment in my head, even though I wasn't there. Like I just love that.
No, genuinely.
Shout out Farah.
Yeah, shout out Farah.
Lots of love.
Yeah, actually, a photographer caught us. You can see I was in the trenches. Like my face was like, I think tears were running down my face, and Farah was clapping for me, and a photographer got that on camera, and like that picture is like saved in my memory box. Like it was so iconic. And then at the end, she grabbed my hand, and like we just finished it together, holding hands, which I was like, it was like actually like out of a movie. And by the way, the bath half there's a terrible hill at the end, so as Seema knows, like
don't remind me of that hill.
More flashbacks, guys.
For real. I don't know why they left it till the very end.
Yeah.
Like, yes,
it's
you had
brutal.
to go up to get to the finish line, but surely they could have taken another route.
It's brutal. It's actually hell on earth.
Oh,
but
I can only imagine your knee at that point.
oh god, it was like a knife in my knee. But the fact that Farah was next to me, I completely forgot it was hurting. So like.
And was your experience doing it independently for the actual London Marathon significantly different? Also, the fact that you didn't have music.
Oh yes, very good question. Yeah, I was actually very nervous to run a full distance alone, but I think I was very lucky that my first marathon is the London Marathon, and so there was not a point in that marathon where it was quiet. Like, I will say there was a couple of points in the back half where there was no one cheering, and all you can hear were your thoughts. Yeah, and you like everyone panting around you, which like it's not a fun time when like no one's there encouraging you. So yeah, I was really nervous, but very lucky that it was the London Marathon, and the energy was undescribable. Like, these random people around you cheering your name, because I had put my name on my bib, and so you can just hear your name being cheered on, and like you can't stop at that point. Like you can't stop. You're doing it for yourself, but you're also doing it for all these people around you, which was very, very, very nice. It was like a great experience. But initially I was really nervous of running it alone, but not at one point did I feel alone at all in that race. But I did forget my AirPods, fun fact, for the whole entire race, which I was panicking about in the beginning, because like I was planning to not listen to music actually for at least half of it, because that's what everyone told me. Everyone was like, you have to absorb the energy around you and let the crowd like push you through, which I was forced to do the whole time. And it was so hard at like kilometer 35, where like all you can hear are your thoughts. But it was fine, because there was people around me like cheering me on, and it was just inspiring. And seeing everyone run for a different reason was so inspiring. Like, you would see people running for like their late wife, or like someone who had passed away, they're running on behalf of them, or for like a charity as well, which was very, very touching to see. And seeing that while you're in pain as well just makes you want to run faster, and makes you want to cross that finish line even more. And so not at any point was not having music a problem, or running alone. It was never a problem the whole race. So I was very lucky to have that experience, I think.
Do you think you can bring that into future runs, like run without music more often?
I actually have. I haven't found it an issue anymore to not have music. I used to listen to like music that was a certain like beats per minute for me to like run at a certain speed, but like I actually don't find the need to have music anymore. So I guess that has helped for sure.
Cool. Yeah. And so obviously there's a lot of like internal challenges going through your mind, but do you feel like there's something that really surprised you throughout about yourself, or like during the journey? Like, what kind of thoughts were going up in your mind most consistently, most repetitively? Because you said all you could hear was your thoughts at one point by 35.
Yeah, I think like I had to, this sounds so silly, but I had to verbalize affirmations. I had to be like, you got this, you'll finish this, you're strong, you're capable. I kept saying those two affirmations again and again.
That's not silly, that's good.
But I just felt really silly because I was speaking to myself, but it really helped drown out like all of the doubts, because like I think kilometer 35 was the hardest for me, because I felt all the pain in my legs in places I've never felt anything before. Like, I just felt so much pain. I think my body was just so fatigued, and like it was so easy to just stop and walk, which is completely okay, and I walked a lot of the end as well because I was in so much pain, but it took a lot for me to be like, no, you can keep running. And like the last 5K was definitely the longest 5K of my life. It felt like the race just started at kilometer 35.
Really?
Which a lot of people actually say, like, the real race begins at kilometer 35 or kilometer 30, because like I'd say the first half, you're just running on adrenaline, like pure adrenaline. You're hearing the crowds for the first time, and they're definitely pulling you through. everything after that is just you're on your own. Like, it's your thoughts, and it definitely helps to have them around, but you really have to dig deep to push you through. And that's when I started having to say affirmations. So
that's when they clutch in, like, come on.
Definitely the delusional part of me was like, you can
Oh.
do this. And you do need to be a little bit delusional. You need to fake it till you make it, because
Yeah.
you're capable. You just have to pull yourself out of the dark times.
Yeah, I've heard that by that point, like, it's a mental, not a physical
Yeah.
test.
100%. Like, your body is more than capable to do so, but your brain is telling you to stop, to walk, to sit down. But you just have to fight. You just have to fight the demons. As cliche as this all sounds, it really taught me a lot about, like, perseverance and believing in yourself in the darkest times.
Yeah.
And so, yeah.
And do you feel like you'd want to sign up for another marathon soon, or something bigger?
I think definitely yes, but not anytime soon. Like, I definitely want to give myself some time to just relax for a bit. And again, I did feel like I told myself I didn't want running to feel like a chore, and I would always want to enjoy it. And it did start feeling like that towards the end of the marathon training, of course, as it naturally does. I feel like if you're running that much within the week, like, you'll feel like this is a bit much. And so I think I just need to go back to find the love for running again. And then I think I'll be ready for a race. But I'm definitely down to do another one. So, yeah.
And how do you feel about things like Ironmans, ultras?
Ooh. Actually, my dad was like, maybe the next thing I do is maybe my next side quest is a triathlon, which I wouldn't be opposed to, but I'm just a terrible swimmer. I hate swimming. I don't know if I've told you this.
Why do you hate swimming?
I think it's just the fact that you just can't control, well, I can't control my breathing, or it's the fact that when you're underwater, you can't breathe, obviously, and that freaks me out for some reason. It's not that I went through some traumatic event with swimming.
I remember this now, but not being able to breathe. Like that. Yeah.
Does that not freak you out?
I mean, I know thankfully that I can swim back up and then breathe.
Very true.
But I understand, like, it is a bit of a, if you think about it and deep it is a sensation where you feel kind of trapped.
Yeah.
Like, underwater. Yeah.
A little bit.
Sorry to cut you off, but maybe,
no
did you have, like, any, like, traumatic experience that made you, like, feel that?
I'm trying to
if you're
think.
comfortable sharing.
No, of course. No, I'm trying to think. Like, I don't think I have, and swimming, like, we did it regularly in school. On, like, family holidays, we would always be swimming. You know, like, I'm an island girl. Like, it should come naturally. That's me. It should come naturally to me, but it really freaks me out. And so if I were to train for a triathlon, I think the swimming bit would be my biggest challenge. And also, like, I guess it's not as accessible as just, like, running and biking. Well, biking, you'll have to find a bike first, but like, swimming feels more taxing in my head. It's just not something I've done regularly, and so that would be a big challenge if I ever do train for a triathlon. But I would be down to do a triathlon. Would be my next side quest, I think.
You never know.
Yeah, you never know.
So we've talked about struggles during your marathon training and at the time, but what's something you're struggling with now?
Oh, I think now that we're fresh out of uni, I think just realizing that I have my whole life ahead of me is really scary. And this has just hit me recently that, like, oh, it's now up to us to decide, like, where I go next, up to myself, where I decide to go next. And, like, my whole life trajectory kind of depends on the decisions I make in these next couple of years, I feel like. Which
does it?
Well, that's what I've been feeling, which I feel like might not be true, but I haven't found the answer yet. But yeah, that recently has been kind of challenging and like navigating. I guess now we're like really in the deep end and just figuring out what I want to do full time is what I've been struggling with recently.
What brings you the most fulfillment, like day-to-day activities? What do you really enjoy doing?
I used to actually hate the gym, but now I've found like such a great community in my gym where I'm actually looking forward to going to the gym, and I found confidence in going to the gym. Like the only reason I got into running was because I hated the gym. And so I think it's really refreshing now.
Wow.
Yeah, full circle. It's refreshing now that I have such a great gym community, and have such a new perspective with the gym that like I'm looking forward to going to the gym. Like today I'm going later and I'm so excited.
Yeah.
And so that has brought me a lot of fulfillment. And the gym that I go to, they run a lot of events as well, and so the sense of community is just heightened as well. And I love it. It's like, it reminds me again of like run clubs and having that community within running. Now I have found that with the gym, and so I guess I'm not taking a break from running, but like that's what I'm exploring more now. For sure.
What do you like about the community?
I like that everyone is just supportive. First of all, like you would go into the gym, and first of all, the gym, I hated the gym because it was intimidating. Like lifting weights to me felt like it was just really intimidating and not something that I was regularly doing. And so this gym specifically, they do like class-based strength training, and so not only do you have the support of the coaches there, but the people there are always have the best interests in you. Like even if you've met them for the first time, they'd be like, oh, I think you're lifting this weight, like I think you can lift more than what you think, and they're always supporting you in that way. And so I really am enjoying the gym, and that's been giving me a lot of fulfillment.
So you like the concept of being with people who are supportive, positive energy, silly affirmations.
It's great. It's cliche, but it's true.
And is that something you'd want to continue in your day to day, like being around that energy in that space?
For sure. I think I used to be quite an introverted person, but I feel like I find, this is like really confusing to me because I feel like I'm naturally introverted, but I find fulfillment in being with other people. But also like I also don't love like public speaking, and I don't love being in a room full of people, and so it's like a bit confusing, but I do find fulfillment in community. So I think it's more for me like connection wise, in a space where I can find lots of connections is where I thrive, I think.
Can I give you a challenge now?
Ooh, of course.
Time for a challenge.
Okay.
So you're gonna get a challenge. You can choose to either accept it or decline it.
Right.
Or you can propose an alternative.
Okay.
So
hit me.
You've said that you're struggling with this idea of being thrown in the deep end, figuring out what's next. But what you do like is being around supportive people with a community where you can connect, right?
For sure.
So my challenge to you, Nabs, is to, by the end of this week, and it's only, today's Monday, right?
It is.
Yeah, it's Monday, so you have time. In fact, I'm gonna reduce it. The deadline is Thursday.
Okay.
By Thursday, I would like you to take some time in the gym, in your special March-on gym.
Yeah.
Do they have like a cafe or a corner with like a table?
They do actually, yeah. They have a working space.
So after, you can even do it today after your session, whenever you want, or you can go there because I know Bath's pretty small, it's not too far.
Yeah.
Sit down on your own, like in one of the tables, or you could even have this. I know it'd be tricky during a session. But get like a paper. Do you feel like you can think without distraction best with pen and paper, or do you prefer to type?
I prefer typing.
Okay, then you can type, but make sure notifications are off.
Got it.
And I just want you to sit and ask yourself, how can I combine this love for being in a supportive space with something that I do day to day, whether it's for my career or if it's something you build and bring to life. How can I like combine this thing that fuels me and gives me energy with some sort of like, I don't know if I want to use the word career, but like, let's say life activity. Yeah. Because you talk about side quests, but why can't it be your main quest, you know?
Real.
So how do you feel about that?
I like that. I will gladly accept the challenge.
Okay.
I like that.
And who's gonna hold you accountable?
You will check up on me by Thursday. And myself, I'll do it for sure.
Yeah.
I'll do it for sure.
Alright, so expect a message from me.
Perfect.
On Thursday.
Perfect.
And
looking forward to it.
You're happy to accept it, no alternatives, no declination. Is that a word? Declination?
Declination?
No declining.
Yeah, I'm happy to accept.
Okay.
Face value.
Let's shake on it.
I'm excited.
You heard it here, everyone. Nabs has accepted the challenge.
Yep. Okay.
Oh, thanks so much for being here today, Nabs.
Of course, thanks
I had
for
so
having
much
me.
fun learning more about your journey
Yeah.
and hearing details I didn't hear before.
Of course.
And thank you for inspiring the audience. Not only myself, I'm sure everyone got inspired.
I hope
Because
so.
you should be so proud, especially since you had, like, I think something we forgot to mention was that she was drowning in deadlines at the time as well. Like, I bumped into her on the way to her final presentation after the weekend of the marathon. Like,
Yeah. Mind you, I had a presentation 4 days after I ran the marathon.
that's insane.
I also had a visa appointment the day after I ran the marathon, and so I was waddling. When I tell you, I was literally waddling to this visa office. And they were interviewing me, and I was just like, no one in this room knows that I just ran a marathon.
Oh, also, something I think, something that we didn't touch on that I remember you telling me was the motivation of your meal. What's the restaurant called again? The Indian restaurant?
Dishoom.
Dishoom.
Yes. When I tell you, like, the last kilometer, all I was thinking about was the chicken ruby at Dishoom, OMG, and that was why I ran. That was why I crossed the finish line.
For the chicken.
For the chicken. And I also, like, purposely booked, like, the time slot of where I predicted that I would finish, and so it just made me want to finish faster.
Oh, wow.
So life hack, you guys, if you love
That's
a meal
a good
that
idea,
much.
actually.
Yeah.
Huh.
And it was the best meal I've had on planet Earth. I will
Wow.
not admit. I would not lie.
But did you feel like eating after or no?
I did actually. I was hungry during the race,
Oh.
and like during the marathons, I would take. I think I took like 6 gels, and so you're eating things, but like I was still feeling hunger, which was really strange and not
yeah.
something that I was expecting. But like the crowds were giving me like candy, and like there was an aid station where they were giving crisps. So I was just like, oh, this is great.
Did you just say crisps?
Yeah.
We're international students at
I
core.
know.
It's chips.
No, I'm aware of our audience, right?
Oh,
so
okay.
I'm like
You're
adapting
tailoring.
my
I
knowledge.
see,
Yeah,
I
my
see.
attention to detail is there.
Okay. Wow. Hire her.
Yeah,
everyone.
hire me right now, guys.
She's open.
Hit me up, literally.
Oh,
Yeah.
alright. Can you give the audience a recommendation for how they can spread serotonin today before we sign off?
I love that question. I think what the biggest teachings of this whole marathon thing was to always find ways to challenge yourself, but also to have fun during the process. Like, never take it too seriously. It's good to challenge yourself, put yourselves in difficult situations, but never take it too seriously, because it's all about having fun. So,
I love that. Challenge yourself, but don't take it too seriously.
There you go.
Do it for the lulz, like Nabs
Do it for the laws. Put your name down for the laws. With any situation, put your name down.
In fact, you can give the audience that challenge to put their names down.
This week, put your name down for something. What if I challenge you, Seema?
Okay, challenge me.
I challenge you to put your name down for something challenging this week.
Okay.
Yeah. Figuratively put your name down. Like, just do something challenging this week.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
Shake on that.
Accepted. We both have challenges now.
Yep.
Oh, alright. Thanks so much, Nabs, again.
Of course.
Thank you, everyone, for tuning in, and we hope this gave you some serotonin. Have a lovely day ahead.
See
you
ya.
soon. Bye.